Today I am going to listen a story about the sinister ghost of the Queen of Spades. Once upon a chilling autumn evening in the small town of Blackwood, nestled deep within a dense, eerie forest, there stood an old mansion, a relic of the past, known to locals as the Blackwood boarding school. The mansion, with its towering spires, winding hallways, and ominous atmosphere, was notorious for its sinister past. For generations, the mansion had been shrouded in gloomy rumors, tales of unspeakable horrors that had unfolded within its walls during the 19th century. The townsfolk whispered of a malevolent spirit, the vengeful ghost of the Queen of Spades, who was said to be thirsty for blood, particularly the blood of innocent children. Inside the mansion, a new group of pupils had arrived at the Blackwood boarding school, unaware of the dark history that clung to the building. Among them were a group of adventurous teenagers who had a fondness for horror stories. As the days grew shorter and the nights colder, they entertained each other with tales of murders, disappearances, and unexplained phenomena that had occurred in the mansion. One stormy evening, as rain lashed against the mansion's windows and the wind howled through the surrounding forest, the teenagers gathered in the dimly lit common room. They huddled together, the flickering candlelight casting eerie shadows on the walls. Sarah, the storyteller of the group, began to recount a particularly chilling legend. "Have you heard the tale of the Queen of Spades?" she asked in a hushed tone. Her friends leaned in, captivated by her words. "They say she was a wicked queen who once lived here, and her thirst for power led her to commit unspeakable acts. When she died, her malevolent spirit remained, and she has haunted this place ever since, seeking to quench her thirst for blood with the souls of innocent children." The room fell silent as the group shivered at the thought of the sinister ghost that might still lurk in the shadows of the mansion. Little did they know that their lives were about to take a terrifying turn. A few days later, the teenagers decided to explore the abandoned wing of the mansion. This area had been locked up for years, and no one knew exactly what secrets it held. Armed with flashlights and a sense of curiosity, they ventured into the dark and dusty corridors. As they roamed the forgotten wing, they stumbled upon a room unlike any other. Inside, they discovered a large, ornate mirror, covered with mysterious drawings that seemed to shimmer and shift in the dim light. The mirror was framed in tarnished silver, and its glass was etched with strange symbols and patterns. Intrigued and slightly unnerved, the teenagers gathered around the enigmatic mirror, their flashlights casting eerie reflections. They couldn't resist the urge to touch it, and as they did, a cold, icy breeze swept through the room. Suddenly, the mirror began to glow, its drawings coming to life and swirling with an otherworldly energy. As the room filled with an eerie, pulsating light, a haunting melody began to play, echoing through the corridors. The teenagers watched in disbelief as the mirror transported them to another time, another place. They found themselves in the midst of a grand ballroom where elegantly dressed guests danced and laughed, while the malevolent presence of the Queen of Spades loomed in the background. The teenagers were trapped in a nightmarish vision, unable to escape. They realized that they were witnessing the dark history of the mansion unfold before their eyes. The Queen of Spades, with her blood-red gown and a crown of thorns, glided through the ballroom, her eyes fixed on the children. Desperate to break free from the nightmarish vision, the teenagers reached out to the mirror, their hands passing through its surface. As they did, they felt a powerful surge of energy, and the mirror shattered into 1,000 pieces, breaking the connection to the past. With a gasp, they found themselves back in the abandoned wing of the mansion, the room plunged into darkness. The mirror was gone, leaving only shards of glass on the floor. As they caught their breath, the teenagers realized that they had witnessed the Queen of Spades and the horrors of the past. The experience left them shaken, and they knew they had to uncover the truth behind the mansion's dark history. Over the following weeks, the teenagers delved into the history of the Blackwood boarding school, searching for clues that might explain the malevolent spirit's existence. They discovered old diaries, letters, and newspaper clippings that hinted at the Queen of Spades' reign of terror. They also learned that the mansion had been a place of unspeakable cruelty, where children had disappeared without a trace. Their research led them to a hidden chamber beneath the mansion, a chamber filled with disturbing relics and artifacts from the past. It was there that they stumbled upon a letter written by a long-forgotten soul who had faced the Queen of Spades. The letter described the ghost's insatiable thirst for blood and her penchant for luring children to their doom. It revealed that she could only be defeated by an act of extraordinary courage and selflessness. Determined to put an end to the Queen of Spades' reign of terror, the teenagers embarked on a perilous journey to confront the malevolent spirit. They knew that their lives were at stake, but they were willing to sacrifice everything to free the mansion from its sinister curse. Armed with the knowledge they had gained and their newfound courage, they returned to the room where the mysterious mirror had once stood. They chanted ancient incantations, seeking to summon the Queen of Spades and confront her. As the room filled with an ominous presence, the Queen of Spades materialized before them, her eyes filled with malice. The teenagers could feel her malevolence, but they stood their ground, determined to end her reign of terror. With a collective act of selflessness, the teenagers offered the Queen of Spades a chance for redemption and forgiveness. They showed her the letter from the long-forgotten soul who had faced her in the past, and they implored her to release her thirst for blood and seek peace. The Queen of Spades hesitated, her ethereal form wavering. Slowly, a tear formed in her eye, and she nodded in acceptance. The malevolent spirit faded away, leaving behind a sense of peace and closure. With the curse broken, the teenagers returned to their normal lives, forever changed by their encounter with the Queen of Spades. The mansion, once shrouded in gloomy rumors, began to regain its former glory as the dark history of the past faded into memory. And so, the sinister ghost of the Queen of Spades was finally put to rest, her thirst for blood quenched by an act of extraordinary courage and selflessness. The teenagers had not only saved themselves but also freed the mansion from its haunting past, and in doing so, they learned the true power of unity, bravery, and the enduring hope for redemption. Hope you like the story. Hit the like button and share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and turn on the notification. Thank you.